Hey everyone, Kevin here. I've got breaking news hot off the press regarding a possible new stimulus plan that was just introduced to the House of Representatives. Now, this is different from the interim bill to introduce another $250 billion in funding to small businesses. This is a bill that was just introduced, it looks like late yesterday, and announced today. It was introduced by 2 representatives and it was co-sponsored by another 17 representatives. So it looks like there is at least some weight behind this bill. Now, this bill provides for $2,000 in monthly payments to every qualifying American over the age of 16 for up to 12 months. I'm gonna break this down piece by piece, who's eligible, who's not, based on what date, what about taxes, all of that. We're gonna go through that. I've got the bill, I've got the press release, we're gonna walk through all of this. I just wanna be very, very clear. This is a bill that was introduced to the House. So the House has to pass it, and then it's gotta go over to the Senate. The Senate has to pass it, and then the president has to sign it, and then it becomes law. The last time when we passed the Stimulus Act, the CARES Act 3, that whole process took surprisingly less than 3 weeks, which was really fast. So it'll be interesting to see if we could get quick action like that on this, although this could fizzle out. But in the meantime, this is something to pay attention to, so I at least want to bring it to your attention. The act is called the Emergency Money for the People Act. There doesn't seem to be a good acronym yet, like the CARES Act for this. Instead, it's just EMPA. But anyway, let's break it down step by step. So the goal of this bill is not only to provide more money to people, but it's also to try to solve some of the issues that the prior bills had. For example, stimulus package number 3 authorized that $1,200 stimulus check, $2,400 for couples making under a certain limit of money. Well, those limits have now been raised, and they're also going to be releasing that money through means such as prepaid debit card, mobile money platforms like Venmo, Zelle, PayPal, Check, and of course, direct deposit like you already have set up if you've received your stimulus money through direct deposit. Now, this was introduced because they believe the $1,200 stimulus check is not enough money. And so they're authoring this bill suggesting, hey, Americans should get $2,000 per month. A couple would get $4,000 per month. You would get an additional $500 if you had 1 to 2 children, or you would get an additional $1,500 if you had 3 or more children. So, for example, a couple with 3 children might receive $5,500 per month for a minimum of 6 months up to 12 months. Now, the up to 12 months portion is limited by something that they're calling the employment to population ratio. Basically, all of the people who can work, we want to look at how many of these people are working. Right now, about 60% of people who can work are working, but that number is rapidly plummeting. 60% is the February number. March is gonna look pretty ugly. If that number goes down to say 50%, as long as that number is under 60%, people are gonna keep getting this $2,000 per adult over 16 years old until that number reaches 60% again. It looks like they're planning on renewing this in 6-month batches. So that way, if this passes, you automatically get this guaranteed for 6 months. Again, $2,000 per person over 16, $500 if you have 1 to 2 children, and $1,500 if you have 3 or more children. Now, in terms of eligibility, you have to be a citizen or a resident to be eligible for this. Now, these payments are supposed to start 14 days after this bill passes, not only the House, but the Senate and the president signs it. So we could really be looking at June before we even started seeing money from this if it passed. But again, if it passed, anyone above 16 years old would get it. Then you would be eligible, again, as long as you're 16 as of January 1st, 2020, and your individual income is under $130,000. For every $1,000 more you make, that gets watered down by 5% or $50. So you would get $50 less per month for every $1,000 more you make over $130,000. That, by the way, is almost double what the CARES Act authorized for stimulus. Then if you're married filing jointly, the limit is $260,000, also almost double what the CARES Act authorized. Now they're using your 2019 tax returns to determine if you qualify. If you are unemployed and you're not making income, you do also apparently qualify. If you did not yet file your 2019 tax return, they will also use your 2018 tax return. Now, this bill is also designed to try to help solve that darn loophole from that CARES Act where college students weren't getting any money because they were claimed by dependents, and seniors were getting claimed as dependents by their children, potentially their adult children. And this solves that by getting rid of any of that classification. Instead, it just says, look, if you're over 16, starting January 1st, 2020, and you don't make more than $130,000 single or $260,000 as a couple, you qualify for this monthly $2,000 per person or $4,000 as a couple. That gets, again, increased by $500 if you have 1 to 2 children and by $1,500 if you have 3 children or more. Hopefully you don't have like 10 children. You're not getting much of a benefit anymore. Although I will say that is my dream in life, to have an army of children. Now there are notes here that these payments would not count as income in order to protect eligibility for any kind of income-based state or federal government assistance programs. There's also, that's in the press release, in the actual bill, there's actually a note that payments under this subsection shall not be included in the gross income for purposes of Internal Revenue Code 1986, which I'm not sure, so don't sue me, bro, if I get this wrong, but I'm pretty sure that means it doesn't qualify. Basically, it's not taxable. It's not supposed to be taxable. I don't know. That's not very clear. I don't understand why they write things like this, but they did say in the press release that they don't want it to count as income in order to protect eligibility for federal government assistance programs. And again, the verbiage of the bill just straight up says income exclusion. Payments under this section shall not be included in gross income for the purposes of IRC 1986. Good luck. Now I did a quick Google of this, and it's possible that that section just refers straight up to the tax code, basically, I believe, trying to say this would not be taxable. What's also interesting is the bill is suggesting that there should be a toll-free 24-hour hotline for any individual to apply for payments and make inquiries regarding payment deliveries under this subsection. I kind of doubt that is gonna work out well, but okay, we'll try that. We tried that with the SBA. That didn't work out too well. People were mostly clueless. Now, I just wanna be clear, at this time, this is just a draft of a bill that was submitted for the House to debate on. If the House passes it, it's gotta go to the Senate. Right now, that drama you hear about on the news about Republicans versus Democrats is drama over the interim bill. The interim bill is to provide up to $250 billion of more stimulus money to fund small businesses via the Paycheck Protection Program. Not sure if that yet includes anything for the EIDL grants, but that's different. So this is a completely new bill that basically gives us monthly stimulus checks. Very different from the $250 billion where you hear this Twitter war going on the news for. This is brand new and different. And if you like it, I probably recommend you email your local representatives in your state. Just type in Google like Ventura County representative and send them an email and go, dude, bro, yes. If, of course, you want it. Now, this is going to be expensive. Think about this. There are about 200 million people in the United States who would probably qualify for these checks, which at $2,000 per person would be somewhere around $400 billion in printed money per month, which, you know, we'll take some printed money. It's all right. But yeah, if that goes on for just 10 months, that adds $4 trillion to the government debt. But hopefully we all got stimulated with some extra money in our face. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments down below. Again, this has not been passed yet, so don't ask next week, where's my $2,000 per month that Kevin promised? Thought it was pretty clear in this video. So if you like free money, like the Emergency Money for the People's Act free money, make sure you deposit $100 with this stock trading platform Webull in the link down below, and you will get 2 free stocks valued up to $1,400. It's kind of a lottery in terms of how much you get. And of course, right next to that is a link for life insurance. So if you want a free quote for life insurance, take you less than 5 minutes to do on your phone, make sure to hit that link down below. Folks, I've also got a coupon on my awesome real estate program, and we will see you next time. Thanks so much. Bye.